Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and continue for our final review. Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death by Patrick Henry. Richmond, Virginia, March 23rd, 1775. Mr. President, no man thinks more highly than I do of the patriotism as well as abilities of the very worthy gentleman who have just addressed the House. But different men often see the same subject in different lights, and therefore I hope it will not be thought of disrespect to use those gentlemen if, entertaining as I do, opinions of a character very opposite to theirs. I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. This is no time for ceremony. The question before the House is one of awful moments to this country. For my own part, I consider it as nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery, and in proportion to the magnitude of the subject ought to be the freedom of the debate. It is only in this way that we can hope to arrive at a truth and fulfill the great responsibility which we hold to God and our country. Should I keep my opinions at such a time, through fear of giving offense, I should consider myself as guilty of treason towards my country, and of an act of disloyalty towards the majesty of heaven, which I revere above all earthly kings. Mr. President, it is natural to men to indulge in the illusions of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes against a painful truth, and listen to the song of that siren till she transforms us into beasts. It is the part of wise men engaged in a great and arduous struggle for liberty. Are we disposed to be of the number of those who have eyes see not, and having ears hear not, the only things which so nearly concern the temporal salvation? For my part, wherever anguish the worst, and try and provide for it. I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is a lamp of experience. I know of no way of judging of the future but by the past, and judging by the past I wish to know that there has been the conduct of the British ministry for the last 10 years, to justify those hopes with which gentlemen have been pleased to solace themselves and the House. It is in that insidious smile with which our petition has been lately received. Trust it not, sir, it will prove a snare to your feet. Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed with a kiss. Ask yourself how this gracious reception of our petition comports with these warlike preparations which cover our waters and darken our land. Are fleets and armies necessary to a work of love and reconciliation? Have we shown ourselves so unwilling to be reconciled, that force must be called in to win back our love? Let us not deceive ourselves, sir. These are the implements of war and subjugation, the last arguments to which kings resort. I ask gentlemen, sir, what means this martial army, if its purpose be not to force us submission? Can gentlemen assign any other possible motive for it? Has Great Britain any enemy in this quarter of the world to call for all this acclamation of knaves and armies? No, sir, she has none. There are meant for us, they can be meant for no other. They are sent over to blind and rivet upon those chains which the British ministry have been so long forgiving. And what have we to oppose them? Shall we try argument? Sir, we have been trying that for the last 10 years. Have we anything new to offer upon the subject? Nothing. We have held the subject up in every light of which it is capable, but it has all been in vain. Shall we resort to entreaty and humble supplication? What terms shall we find which have not been already exhausted? Let us not, I beseech you, sir, deceive ourselves. So we have done everything that could be done to avert the storm which is now coming. We have petitioned, we have been remorsed, we have supplicated, we have portrayed ourselves before the throne, and have implored the interposition to arrest the tyrannical hands of the ministry and parliament. Our petitions have been slighted, our remonstrances have been produced additional violence and insult, our supplications have been disregarded, and we have been spurned. Which contempt for the foot of the throne. In vain, after these things, may we indulge the full hope of peace and reconciliation. There is no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, if we mean to preserve and violate those inestimable privileges for which we have been so long contending, if we mean not basely to abandon the noble struggle in which we have been so long engaged, in which we have pledged ourselves never to abandon until the glorious object of our contest shall be obtained, we must fight. I repeat it, sir, we must fight. An appeal to arms and to the God of the hosts is all that's left us. They tell us, sir, that we are weak, unable to cope with so formidable an adversary. But when shall we be stronger? Will it be the next week or the next year? Will it be when we are totally disarmed, and when a British guard shall be stationed in every house? Shall we gather strength by irresolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the means of effectual resistance, by lying supinely on our backs and hugging the delusive phantom of hope until our enemies shall have bound us to hand and foot? Sir, we are not weak. If we make a proper use of those means which the God of nature hath placed in our power, 3 millions of people armed in the holy cause of liberty, and in such a country as that which we possess, are invincible by any force which our enemy can send against us. Besides, sir, we shall not fight our battles alone. There is a just God who presides over the destinies of narrations, and who will raise up friends to fight our battle for us. The battle, sir, is not to be strong alone. It is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, sir, we have no election, if we were base enough to desire it. It is now too late to retire from the contest. There is no retreat but the submission and slavery. Our chains are forged. Their clanking may be heard on the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable, and let it come. I repeat, sir, let it come. It is in vain, sir, to accentuate the manner. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The words actually, it is vain, sir, to extenuate the matter. The war has begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What does this gentleman wish? What would they have? If life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased of the price of chains and slavery. Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. All right, so that was a lot. So that is one that you will probably want to review before you answer questions 4 on the final. Question number 6. In the speech, what is Henry's view of reconciling with the British? So using your vocab, reconciling, so making up with or trying to find peace. What is his, how does he feel about reconciling? A, reconciliation is a hopeful illusion that becomes more costly the longer it's indulged. B, reconciliation is a worthy idea that has been destroyed by mistakes made by the colonists. C, reconciliation is a risky endeavor that requires more skill than colonists possess. Or D, reconciliation is a likely outcome that will take longer than anticipated to make it a reality. And your answer is A, reconciliation is a hopeful illusion that becomes more costly the longer it is indulged. Question number 7. How does Henry support his point of view as described in Part A? And Part A is going to be the very beginning. Oh, I totally messed up this question. So let's go look at Part A really quick. So it's this part right here. So I'll give you a second to look over that. And the answer is he uses imagery and reference mythology to provoke an emotional response. So this was kind of a mess up on my part, but thinking about that mythology and that emotional response. He uses a lot of words that create that emotional, response to people, right? To get them moving, get them prepared for war. Question number 8. What is the speaker's purpose? This is a good one. To inform the audience about the grave reality of war, to entertain his audience with a story about overcoming adversity, to explain the reasons why the British government is acting in the audience's best interest, or D, to convince his audience that lack of action will have troubling consequences. The answer is D, to convince his audience that lack of action will have troubling consequences. So you can see that he is persuading people to take action. And question number 9. Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed with a kiss. Which theme does this sentence suggest? And this is from the reading. Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed with a kiss. A, kindness may hide a dark truth. B, kindness often causes pain. C, people often learn more from enemies than from friends. Or D, people must act civilly towards their enemies. And the correct answer is A, kindness may hide a dark truth. All right, so what is next? We have finals. Finals for English open tomorrow. Please get that done as soon as you can. Your final survey I am going to post in the announcements tomorrow. And I'll send it by email as well, and that is some more extra credit points. So that's not going to be sent out today. That's going to be sent out tomorrow. The 610 assignment, that is what is due today. That is purely extra credit, but it's 30 points extra credit. So if you have time, I would suggest you do that. Unit 6 locks this Sunday, so any of the quiz you haven't taken for night, you need to make sure they are in. Tutoring hours are going to change this week. Just check your plan and see what times they are. Finals must be in by the 19th, so you have a week to get them in. We will be calling you. If your finals are not in, you have to turn in your final. Alright guys, I'm sorry that this is not live, so I could say have a wonderful winter break in person. But I want to get well so I can grade all of your finals. I hope you guys have a safe, wonderful winter break, and I will see you in the spring.